2019 was a great year for electric cars in general, but specifically for Tesla. I don't remember so many exciting news and highlights in any other year of Tesla's in existence. And so I just wanted to kind of go over top 10. And you know, I actually had a hard time narrowing it down to 10. There were quite a few other ones that I thought were pretty significant, but I squeezed it out into top 10. And by the way, if you disagree with some of them, or you thought I missed one, or are they in the wrong order, you know, by the way, that never happens. That would be the first time that you guys disagree with me in the comment section of this video. But if in that case, boom, the comment section is still there. So go ahead and let me know what you guys think. Of course, if you haven't subscribed to this channel, go ahead and click on that subscribe button, and if you already have, click the bell notification icon so you don't miss anything moving forward. Electric car news every day, including weekends. I don't have days off, and I'm okay with that. All right, so let's start with number 10, and these are in order of importance, I would say. So we're starting with number 10, and it is the Model Y production starting early. Now, it's really not about the Model Y per se. I mean, it's great that Tesla will be able to make money and get the production going, hopefully avoid production help. But what is one of the first times I've seen is that, you know, Elon Musk promising something and not only getting it done on time, especially when the new model comes out, but actually getting done early. Now, he promised the Model Y coming, late 2020? That was the original promise. Then he recently mentioned that it's actually going to happen during summer. But there's been quite a few reports based on some of the internal sources, but also some of the suppliers, that this might actually happen in Q1, even sooner than Elon promised us. And I think it's a big deal. I think the company overall is turning around and trying to start under-promising and over-delivering, which is really the opposite of what's been happening before. So I think that's why it was important. Number 9. Tesla became profitable once again in Q3 when nobody expected that. But here's why I think it's important. This Q3 and the Q4 also, these are going to be the quarters where Tesla has not ramped up their, you know, solar and energy products yet, which they will be. The superchargers are now charging more and more money. That's going to be the extra income, the income from charging the monthly internet access, Model Y and Shanghai Factory. So it looks like if they can make profit now, with all of the extra revenue streams coming in the next 12 months, it looks like it could just be a thing for them to be profitable. And that was definitely a surprise. By the way, this is not top 10 surprises. This is a top 10 highlights. Just because it was a surprise doesn't mean it was the most important thing that happened, but it was a surprise, and I think this was an important one. All right, so let's move on to number 8. Shanghai Factory finished early, and once again, this was important for a couple of reasons. First of all, again, this is ahead of schedule, which is not, this is the first year I'm seeing this from Tesla. So Model Y and now the Shanghai Factory being done early. But also, of course, they already started producing Model 3s there, and the next year they'll be producing Model Y. This is in addition to what Fremont Factory can do. And China has been a huge market for Tesla, so therefore this is going to be more revenues for Tesla and even easier to be profitable. So this is pretty damn big, and it's an extra factory. It's not like they have a lot, so this is a big deal. Okay, number 7, SEC settlement. Now, Alex, how is this a highlight? Well, actually, in a couple of ways. First of all, you know, getting this behind, this whole 420 tweet and funding secure tweet thing, putting it behind was a big deal, I think, for investors, for the confidence of investors and people who do business with Tesla. So that's number 1. But number 2, I think it was good for Elon. And as I told you guys, I think we're getting old Elon back. I'm calling it Elon 3.0. Where he's actually acting like a real CEO, very conservative with what he says, very thought through most of the time. And you know, they kind of started with this when they basically told him, well, listen, these are the guidelines by which you have to obey the rules just like everybody else. And they ended up settling with that. And ever since, he's been pretty good. So I think that was actually pretty important. I think it was a positive thing for Tesla. And that's why that's my number 7. Let's move on to number 6. And that's Model S and Model X refresh, the Raven versions, as a lot of people call it. This was a big one as well because, you know, Model S and Model X, even though Elon said that they're kind of making them for sentimental purposes, but really these are the most profitable models they have. I think the Model S is still a flagship, and Model X is still the one of the best technologies they have in some ways. Over Model 3, and they were getting outdated. People just didn't really want to buy them, and I didn't blame them. You know, updating all of this hardware and software, I thought that was enough without changing the interior and exterior, which most people really like. I don't see too many people complaining about the exterior. Yes, I know people want interior change, but it looks like if they're going to change it, they're going to change it something like Model 3. And I don't think a lot of people like that. Anyway, let's move on to number 5. Before that, of course, a quick reminder that this video and this channel is sponsored by Climate Exchange. Check out their Tesla raffle. If you are the winner, you're going to be able to pick pretty much any Tesla up to $195,000 in value. So go ahead and get your ticket in the description of this video. There's a link. But even if you don't win, still that money is going to be going to a great cause because Climate Exchange is a great environmental organization. So go to carbonraffle.org and get your ticket today. All right, let's move on to number 5. And yes, Cybertruck is at number 5. Cybertruck Price. Now, this was, I gotta tell you, I know the this guy does not come. This is not part of the price, not part of the deal, but he looks good next to this truck. Anyway, just as boxy, if you think about it. All right, so all jokes aside, but you know Elon promised a Cybertruck at starting at 50,000, and that was already a huge deal because you know that's a good price for a truck in general. You know, Rivian starts at 70, Bollinger starts at 125, so at 50 it was already a really good deal. But boom. They ended up bringing it down to under 40 at 39,900, I think the exact price is. And I gotta tell you, I think prices was gonna really win a lot of people over if they're considering both Rivian and Tesla. I don't think there will be too many people, but still, even as a standalone thing, that price is absolutely amazing. So kudos to them. Let's move on to number 4 in the stock price. And I already mentioned it a few times. I feel like the stock has followed Elon. You know, when Elon was crazy and doing all this weird and just flat out stupid stuff, the stock was kind of tanking. But once he's kind of, you know, got back to his old self and he was, you know, inspirational, but at the same time, very much CEO-like. And now he's a CEO of one of the largest, you know, automakers in terms of at least market cap. Hey, you know, I feel like the stock started to follow it. The profitability, running ahead of schedule, careful and thought through quarterly calls with analysts. All of that, I think, counted. And of course, all the Cybertruck and so many news that are just on point, all positive, very few negative, if any, and a stock responded. And so that's definitely a big deal because that gives them a lot of leverage in many different ways. And it looks like it will keep going up. So number 3, let's get to number 3. And yes, Cybertruck is twice in this top 10. But you're probably saying, Alex, but like this is Cybertruck design. You don't think that was the biggest surprise? Yes, it was the biggest surprise, but that's not the biggest highlight for me because we kind of knew it was going to look weird in some ways or another, and you know it kind of does. But nevertheless, this definitely gave Tesla a lot of publicity. I think it wouldn't have if it would have just looked as a nice designed electric truck. So I think it gave it a lot of publicity. It definitely, once again, tells the world that Tesla is ahead of everyone's side. We may not understand this, but they're up there in the future. This is the company of the future, and I think that's why this design is important. Even though a lot of people, including myself, think it's kind of ugly. I reserve one just like everybody else, but that's, you know, it is the future, and they're almost kind of defying it. So that's my number 3. Number 2, parking lot summit. I gotta tell you guys, this is a big deal because this is the first time when a commercially produced car moves by itself, even though it's just in the parking lot, but moves by itself without the driver. And to me, this is I was floored when I saw that. I know it's not perfect, but it is working. It will only get better. And the fact that they were able to pull it off in front of everybody. By the way, this doesn't have to be part of an electric car thing. This summon thing can be done with a gas car, and so everyone was in play, and yet nobody did it. And they did it, and no one is ever close. To me, this is once again, Tesla is all about the future, and nothing says future like self-driving car, literally without a driver behind the wheel. So to me, that was a big deal. But so what is number one? You're asking me. I'm assuming you've already put it in the comment section, Sauer, what your number one. If you haven't, go ahead and put it in there and tell me what your number one, the best, biggest highlight of Tesla in 2019 was. To me, it was the Maxwell acquisition. I know it's not sexy. I know there's no cool video to show. That's all I got. This boring battery thing. But this is, and like I said, to me, the highlights is what define the future for Tesla and the entire industry. And to me, the battery technology is, the core of electric car technology. And Tesla has already leading everybody. But don't forget, they're kind of working on this with Panasonic and LG Chem now in China. But this is the way for them to take a hold, just like they've gotten a hold of pretty much everything else, right? Their own superchargers, the chip, and the self-driving software, everything little by little they brought in the house and made it better than it was before, even though with some growing pains. This is the only thing that's left, and it looks like, by what I'm hearing, that this technology is going to be, this is the technology that seems will power up the 600, 700, 800 mile range, and it might be happening in the next year or two, and Tesla will be in control of producing the batteries and not depending, which still is sort of a templated Panasonic battery. So to me, as unsexy as this is the biggest thing that happened to Tesla as far as looking into the future, as far as producing amazing cars with long range. That's what it is. If you agree with me, disagree with me, if you think I missed something, definitely put in the comment section. If you want more electric car news every day, if you haven't subscribed to this channel, well, this is the time to do it. Click on the subscribe button, and if you already have, don't forget to click on the bell notification icon so you don't miss anything moving forward. But don't forget, if you want to watch me live, you can do so on Patreon. At the same time, contribute to this channel. My Patreons and my sponsors is how I basically make a living doing this full time. That's when I'm able to do videos every day. This is why I'm able to travel around the world and bring the news to you guys directly from where it's happening, whether it's media events or car shows and so forth. So thank you so much for supporting me. I really appreciate it. That link is also in the description of this video. All right, looking forward to your comments. Other than that, see you next time, and remember to stay charged.